Hey fabulous people, as you might recall from our video, Halston from Evansville to Versailles, we've included a link to it in the description. In April, I found myself back home again in real America. Oh, I beg your pardon, I meant to say Indiana. Yes, I was back home again in Indiana for the eclipse, yet as I waited for the sun to be snuffed from the sky, I found Indianapolis more enlightened than I'd ever seen it. Could things be changing? Back in the pre-internet, heck, even pre-cable days when I called the Hoosier state home, if you fancied apple butter, macrame plant holders, and covered bridges painted in watercolor on circular saws, you were golden. If you valued diversity, well, not so much. Fortunately, our farm was within an imaginary triangle that could, depending on weather, pick up signals from Indianapolis, Terre Haute, or Louisville, which meant we could capture at least two, and sometimes all three, of the broadcast networks. Even if our TV was black and white, a world of color opened for me. Good Times, Arabian Nights, Chico and the Man. These shows became the foundation for my personal woke curriculum and the source of some of my earliest crushes, or, as I later learned, what some social justice warriors might call fetishization of race. I was 10. And all I wanted was for Sabu and me to seek adventure in the jungle in our loincloths. All innocent fun. But even as we age and grow more jaded, we can look to our childhood memories for a source of comfort or inspiration. Now, years after my days of cowboys and Indians, I still love loincloths and chaps, just differently. But I digress. I grew up in a world so white that Southern Italians were exotic. My pursuit of a more cosmopolitan world eventually led me to Manhattan. The Upper East Side. Baby steps, people. Baby steps. But while still confined to a life down home on the farm, it was through movies that my collection of the crush-worthy expanded to include stars who weren't Midwest white, so sleazy, and our man of the hour, le héros du jour, the often shirtless Papa Moe Michdi, today's birthday boy, Yul Brynner. From his birth in Siberia to a family of wealthy Swiss-Russian landowners on July 11, 1922, to his Broadway debut in 1941, Yul Brynner's life was already the stuff of Hollywood epics. Fortune, revolution, fleeing across continents just ahead of advancing forces, circus performer, guitar-playing nightclub singer. He bought opium with Jean Cocteau, posed nude for George Platt lines, and broadcast American propaganda in multiple languages. I can't understand why Hollywood hasn't turned it into a vehicle for David Spade or Will Ferrell. After all that, out of nowhere, on March 29, 1951, Yul became an overnight sensation when he originated the role of the King of Siam in Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I. Yul appeared as King Mongkut for 4,625 performances, as well as in an Oscar-winning turn on film. Rarely has an actor been so identified with a role. He didn't just play the king, he was the king. But let's be real, he could also be a bit of a queen. I'm not suggesting, apart from pulling out the jewels for George Platt lines, that Yul was gay, but his performance as Ramses? Damn, Moses needs to add an 11th commandment, thou shalt not throw shade. I'd never seen anything like it. Those broad shoulders, that regal presence, that miffed muscle queen pout. Who could resist it? And then the way he worked that cape and knee me. Psst, Miss Tyra Banks, I think I've found America's next top model. So it shall be written, so it shall be done. When I first saw the man who would become the pharaoh of my heart, I was aware that my inclinations were different from those of my peers. But watching Yul, I felt confident that, should I ever be called to defend myself, that I could justify my attraction. What alarmed me was my realization that Edward G. Robinson as Dathan was stirring different, but similar, feelings within me. But that's a story for another video. Yul's smoldering appeal made him a favorite among the ladies, and more than a few gents. In addition to The King and I and The 10 Commandments, Yul starred or supported in some of the most beloved and important films of the era, including Anastasia and The Magnificent Seven, where his magnetic screen presence was undeniable. Whether he was playing a pharaoh or a Russian general, Yul's intense charisma and raw talent made him a standout star in Hollywood's golden age. Even today, His performances continue to captivate and inspire. If you enjoyed this tantalizing trip down memory lane, make sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more sizzling stories of Hollywood's most crush-worthy celebs. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss out on the latest updates. Happy 102nd birthday, Yul Brynner. You'll always be our Siberian king of Hollywood.